very well. However, let's get into the draft here, game number 2.
Let's move on as we move into this one. See if Locke is banned again from Hanjin Brion here against Scout. I don't think it necessarily has to be banned in this meta, but Nongshim have been the team that's made so many great compositions around it. So, I think they will consider it, especially with first pick here for Nongshim Red Force. And they'll have the 2 and 3 to get a winning bottom lane, potentially, to empower that Locke if it does go over. Vi and Poppy make a ton of sense. There's no more Lee Sin to worry about. There's the Locke.
Okay, so no Sock this time, which is a little bit unfortunate. The Rumble probably still needs a little bit of a look in here, and the Nocturne was the other one that was banned away. And let's see whether those two are just going to leave again, and then we'll have a completely fresh draft. I think then we have the Rise skyrocket in priority. I think Nongshim instantly first picked that.
Has been looking a lot better very recently.
As a Jace.
Jace, common ban here. There's no Shen or Camille anymore, so you could ban Rise in this spot right here, actually, if you prefer that.
I think I'd be more scared of Rise than I would be of a Nocturne. 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. People just don't like playing in a Nocturne because it's very annoying and warps your entire draft, so I think that's often why it's banned instead, but the Rise has just looked to be more potent as a pick. They'll ban the Lucian away from Diablo, which also, meta aside, specifically towards Nongshim and that bottom lane, makes a lot of sense.
I would agree. And I think that this has to be the blue man. There is almost no other...
Unless you really have a preference on which jungle you want to give Sponge right now, like the Jarvan.
Oh, wow.
Which is, I think, works very well with so many different picks right now and also limits what Roamer wants to play, especially with how they played game 1. Jarvan's one of the best junglers to punish mid lane, to get flashes early, and if they want to repeat the early game of game 1, this is probably what you want over the Xin or anything else. So they take this one, and this also weakens a Nocturne pick because Nocturne's early game just way worse. We hadn't talked about the Ezreal since game 1, and Teddy is very happy to say, you know what, I'd like to be able to arcane shift away from that Jarvan guy, and also Ezreal's broken.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call here. And we'll see what the support is going to be, as Namgun can lock that one away now if you would like to, or they could get like an answering jungler or a mid lane or something like that. The Rise could also just come in here.
I think you can go Rise here, since the jungle's already locked up, and it's not like they're going to take away a jungle prio pick for you, and you can get a lot more flexibility. Instead, though, they want to make sure, or as we say here, we do see the Rise coming now. Instead of going for the jungle, because they go for the Rise, now there's a counter pick opportunity here, but there's no Anivia, because the Anivia was played in game 1, and that's often a response to the Rise. Rumble gets picked up, which is blind here with no Jace. I see the idea.
And what this is going to do is going to force casting to either counterpick on 3 and then give Nongshim the ability to deny Ezreal his supports, or they lock in a support and then you don't get to play what you want into the Rumble. So the Syndra is going to be taken away here. Could be Diablo playing that on the bottom lane, but it's likely going to Scout.
Yeah, I think the Syndra flex is dead. I think it's not going to be played by Diablo here, although they have been the ones to be a little bit creative with their bottom lane picks. Naafiri will be the answer here, so now we will see some supports banned by Nongshim Red Force.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to ban Karma because there's not a lot of engage. Well, they decided to do it anyways. Not a lot of engage here for Hanjin Brion, so I personally wasn't that worried about the pick because
it's also into a Jarvan, right? And so you're pretty happy just to pick her off.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. As we will see the Lulu taken away because they don't want to face off against a Yunara Lulu lane or any variant of that.
All right, I'm a bit intrigued. We might see a Cassante taken away here from casting as far as what Kingen doesn't want to see.
Maybe a Kai'Sa ban? Kai'Sa actually kind of makes sense in this draft here for Nongshim Red Force. So they got the Syndra Jarvan, and they're playing into Ezreal. They don't ban it, though. It's a really tough lane, but if they want to play the Kai'Sa, the Karma ban makes a lot of sense because the Kai'Sa is just never going to be able to play into that. They also take away the Leona, so maybe even considering something completely different here.
Yeah, I think maybe just Kai'Sa Nautilus to come through. I mean, Lehens always just wants to play Nautilus. So we'll see what Teddy wants to do. Leona's
super good with Ezreal, and they need engage in this draft badly. Maybe he just denies the Nautilus here.
Yeah, could be an option. Namgun could just pick that one up for himself. I imagine he wants to play something more weird, though. He's Namgung. He wants to play Pike or Elise, something like that. The Cassante will come through first, something that Casting has been very, very comfortable on. I think Casting really did run the lane on the top side of the map. Kingen had a bit of a rough time on the Olaf.
I'm worried we're going to end up with a...
Zyrakan,
well,
let's go.
Ezreal Alistair lane, which weakens the Sivir that Diablo is now hovering. I'm not as much of a fan of the Sivir in this draft because you don't have the Rise, you don't have the amazing double wave clear. They're going to deny the Alistair pick, so that Cassante come back to bite a little bit here.
Wait. Nefiri is the answer to Rumble. That's what they... No, they didn't. That would have been crazy, though, if it had happened.
I don't think you should play Sylas support. I know that...
No, it was going to be Cassante support, Wolf.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Instead, they decide not to do Cassante support, which was looking very obvious, and instead they will flex it over to the Nautilus.
I liked how Nongshim started this draft. I'm not a big fan of how they ended it. There is a big front line now for the Sivir, and they denied the Alistair into the Sivir for Namgung there. And, you know, they have a late game scaling draft. It's got setup, but it doesn't hyper scale because it doesn't have a scaling mid laner. I mean, yes, I know with Splinters, Syndra is better in the late game than she used to be, but she just isn't necessarily consistent damage. She's more setup in most fights. And on the other hand, you have on the 100 Brionne side, Teddy has Ezreal, so that's a problem. They have Ryze, they have really good wave clear to answer the Sivir. They have the Nautilus engaged, they have Nefiri for backline access. I think 100 Brionne just have a much more well-rounded composition here, and with nameplates on, the players who are playing these champions are really going to enjoy what they've got.
I do think the mid game for Nongshim is going to be pretty scary, and then they theoretically have the Sivir for late game insurance. The problem is Diablo's positioning was an absolute issue in game number 1, and he cannot let that happen. He is the late game win condition for Nongshim, and outside of him, there's not going to be that much. I think so much of this hinges on Sponge having a good game on this Jarvan in order to bridge this Sivir into a late game where she can perform. Lehends as well, I think finding some great engages will be very, very helpful. The Wombo combo, what they're going to be looking for, but let's get on to the Rift for game 2. All right. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit more coordinated on the fan chants. You love to hear that from the bro fans especially. Nongshim's still pretty coordinated here this time around. We'll see whether they get their game number 3 with a victory here from Nongshim. Scout is going to be playing Faker's Skin. Pretty cute there. As Roma just trying to put some pressure on. Syndra was the decision into the Rise. We've seen this many times, but more recently, Rise has actually found a fair bit of success. Namgung is going to thread the needle. There's the exhaust onto Teddy to start this one up. Diablo already throwing that down is pretty dangerous, and now Teddy and Namgung with a big advantage in summoner spells.
A level 1 Alistair who's just going to try to block Mystic shots.
And anchors. And the heal does get thrown down here by Namgung. At least Lehends does still have his, a little bit more even when it comes to the summoners.
Teddy rolling with that lethal tempo, starting to be a big threat here even at level 1. So gonna have to respect it a lot. Already popped a potion as Diablo. The exhaust is now on cooldown. And I think that trade for the heal is a favorable one since Teddy has barrier.
Yeah.
And I think this is just going to be full prio here for Namgung and Teddy with a few minions denied.
It's nicely done so far for the bros on the bottom side of the map. As Sponge, come on, man. That's not what you want to see.
That's not what anyone wants to see.
It's a lot of time now wasted. Well, Big Raptor is now going to finally be secured.
Blame your pet.
This might actually really impact, but Gideon's waiting for Sponge to come over as he will blast cone in. Actually, Gideon does try to commit to it. Oh, that's a little bit awkward.
Yeah,
as he was waiting for Sponge, then Sponge was late because he messed up on the Raptor. Still, Namgung's going to go for the engage onto Lehends, but Lehends is just soaking everything. Scout says, no, break it up, boys, and we'll throw the Sentinel at the Wolves. Kind of insane there, as Sponge not going to smite the blue buff, who is now just desperately trying to make it back to his little pit. Goes down to 50%, but it looks like the bros now will say shenanigans over. We are just going to leave. What a mess of an early game so far.
That was just very silly. I'm actually surprised they didn't try to steal the blue buff away. And now they're going to? Like, what?
Yeah. Well, gets his ward down, says hi.
That whole passage of play like gave me a minor headache, Atlas.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on from that. I don't want to watch that again or think about that again.
It might have been that play, or it might have been like the 6 days in a row of work, Wolf. I'm not entirely sure. It's one of the two.
I mean, I've done it before. I think this was more about that, this was more of that jungle fight.
I'm pretty sure you've had a headache before as well there, Wolf. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know. It just seemed to start right at that moment in particular, where Gideon comes over there, is confused by the late arrival of Sponge. He probably in his mind was like, is he doing a weird path? Like, and then eventually sees him, and then they don't get the smite steal because of Scout pulling it away, but then have an opportunity to secure it because they have smite and they're on top of it, but then walk away, but then go in late. I don't know.
And I think Diablo just stayed in the bottom lane the whole time, and I think that now he's fine. Goes back, grabs a cull, and is just going to try and scale this one up. Level 4 now, so does have access to the spell shield and things like this to be able to help him out in this lane. So that poke not going to be quite as deadly coming through from these Mystic shots, as casting is low here in this top lane. Kingen, I mean, this is one of the champs that you can trust this guy on. His Rumble has been great for a really long time.
I wonder where Roamer is going to try to make his Realm Warps valuable in this early to mid game. You know, is he going to try to play through the K'Sante into the Rumble to put the Rumble down? Is he going to try to accelerate the Ezreal? Because okay.
Nice scatter. Sponge just gives him the good old QE.
Yeah, just gonna little poke.
Yeah.
As right now, you know, there isn't a great pressure point for this Rise, as casting doesn't have level 6, unfortunately for him, but he's still just kind of chasing.
Yeah, the Harpoon lands. Kingen might have to flash, but there is a flash available for casting. He elects not to do it, but Kingen did not need to be there.
He has TP. I guess he's fine.
Oh, the max range scatter here for Scout and Lehens. He picked a flash that didn't come through, and still it was very, very cute.
Yeah. You got to press it first, really, to make sure that you can get that if Roamer does flash. So,
yep.
He made a really nice play there either way. I don't want to say that Roamer predicted that Lehens would predict his flash, but Roamer just knew he was very likely dead and didn't want to waste his.
I mean, sometimes you just got to guarantee checkmate, and that's precisely what Lehens did.
The edge of it, and the way Roamer was walking, I don't think he expected that was going to happen there, but Scout just kind of plays pool with him.
Yeah.
All right.
A little anchor does come in there as the scatter is going to go wide onto Namgung. Somehow he hits every scatter onto Roma, but misses the gigantic Big Daddy.
The one that doesn't matter is the one that he misses, so I guess that's okay.
Well, Nongshim have leads absolutely everywhere right now, but this was the same situation in game number 1. And so the bros probably not going to be deterred by this. An early game do not maketh the game, you know?
No.
As the equalizer comes down, Roamer is going to Realm Warp over, and they're going to have to just dive the turret. Let's see whether they can get this one done, as Kingen will be taken down. Casting with the all-out, just gets himself out of there, and that is the second kill of the game, and the first for the bros.
So Kingen TP's back after getting caught there by casting, has the wave in a good spot, but then just gets dove by the Realm Warp, as there's no prio for Scout to deny it. And we got the answer to that question as to where he would Realm Warp in the early game, and it's the Rumble that's vulnerable with the K'Sante taking up the turret at full health as Diablo's got a spell shield.
Yep, he is going to be absolutely fine here as Sponge. Taking some time, but should be able to take this first Hextech Dragon. And Nongshim will be able to lock that one down for the first of the game. Nicely done there. Now actually looking to try and steal away some Raptors as well. Did have vision here already. And Gideon on the wiser right now. Sponge is actually looking a little low. If I was Gideon, I'd probably want to get over there, but he has no information.
Yeah,
so it's just going to be some free Raptors over to Sponge.
Level 6 for both junglers actually on the trade of camps here. As we'll watch this again, which is pretty self-explanatory, as this equalizer tries to thin the wave, but it's too slow, too late, and casting says, I am the wave. And Roamer is able to help Gideon secure this first kill here.
Yeah, might have been like a better idea to like hold a little bit closer to you, but I don't know. I'm nitpicking.
I think he was dead no matter what without any help.
I think it's fine just to clear out the wave where you can, lose as little minions as possible, as Kingen is going to silence himself. But as this first item comes in, as the Rukon is built up, this Cassante becomes more and more difficult to take down. And Kingen just going to have to try and use him as a money printer. Another max range scatter, as Romer is kind of addicted to taking these. That one's not going to hurt him too much. As the grubs have now spawned, and Gideon, you can see the draw of the grubs. It is so powerful.
It's powerful, but he doesn't have Prio to back him up. Romer still doesn't have his ult back. He's going to have to rely on Casting's collapse if he wants to actually force a fight here. They're playing very safe, but this is an engaging one.
Yes, the drag. Sponge going to miss the Q onto his flag as Lahen's able to play some defense here. Only level 5 on the Cal, though. He's in a lot of trouble. No flash available, and he will be taken down. The Unleashed Power, the Cataclysm, they're trying to kill Gideon, who just flips his way out of there and will be okay for the moment. So the one kill onto the Cal will be the result of that play. Taking these grubs will be a little bit difficult here for Gideon and the bros.
Even though it's a nerf to the Fury, get that here early in this game. Gideon getting that early kill, setting up one here now onto Romer. Lahen's does end up being the casualty of this exchange, and nobody's going to stop Gideon from getting his grubs.
Yeah, he does manage to secure it here, so it should be all three over to the bros as a result. Sponge just in his jungle, not wanting to risk it.
I think
and the cracks in the armor here for Nongshim are showing once again.
Nongshim didn't really have a setup there to force the fight, so they kind of decided, okay, let's back out, but that meant that Lahen's was just left isolated on the back end, and Namgung is the one who sets up the engage, and there's just too much bro there. And sometimes that's how the early game goes. It's not about like who has what item, it's just about who has the champions in the better position. And with the level 6 there for Gideon and the reset on his ultimate, Nongshim couldn't really continue the fight, try to save Lahen's there. So down he goes.
All right, well, Diablo making his way back down towards the bottom side. He's currently 10 CS behind, hasn't quite put his Yuntal together, which has become the more popular first item for the Sivir. Teddy, pretty close to his Trinity Force, but we're not really at the power spikes just yet for the 80 carries. That's why our focus has been towards this mid lane, as Namgung taking a fair bit of poke damage here from Scout. And man, Scout has had such a great series so far, and it really hasn't been augmented by good play from his teammates just yet.
I mean, in some cases it was, but in other cases it was not.
Yeah, there has just been some
watch this
some moments ruined a little.
Super late here. Now the catch is on the Sponge. He has to flash away. And because he has to flash, he can't really re-engage with Cataclysm here to stop them from getting in. And they know that there's just too much bro here, right? Like the control of the top side was there for the Cassante as well. So they just kind of have to slowly walk out. Sponge escapes, but Lahen's is not so lucky.
Yeah, Lahen's still level 5 actually. As Namgung as well, just really wishing that he could find like a lane with some creeps that are dying. He is a little bit closer than Lahen's right now. But the Unbreakable Will and the Death Charge are both so important for the team fights of both of these teams, and there's a minute left on the Dragon.
They should be able to get it before this Dragon. Should.
Oh, Flash Pulp to come on through as Namgung being delivered over to Sponge, but Gideon is right there, and Lahen's is just dead. Yeah, well, Realm Warp is going to secure that one, as now Namgung may actually die in the end, and there it is, the Unleashed Power, and both of these
so I guess
are
they're
now
not
dead.
getting level 6 before Dragon, because they're going to be in the Death Chamber. They can't get any experience in there. As, okay, 30 seconds before the Drake spawns, they will actually be able to be up and available to come over here for a contest. So maybe I spoke a little bit too soon on before the Dragon, but they didn't get them in that moment right there.
I mean, I don't know whether they're going to be, like, Namgung just needs to have one minion die near him, and then he'll get there. But he was, wasn't able to get it either.
Gideon is going for a pass up here on the top side. No Realm Warp, but Romer has full prio right now as Scout backed late, and Kingen has got flash and ult, but I think he's just dead.
Yeah, there's the all-out, the equalizer this time underneath the turret as Kingen is just flashing away. Just trying to pull the minion wave, I guess.
Yeah, but that's a really expensive way to die using your flash there, and obviously because he ulted to try to defend there, didn't really get any of this wave thinned out, so that means Casting's getting a ton of money. And Nongshim, they don't have their jungler on the bottom side to get the cross-map Dragon either.
Yeah, and there's like teleport if
why
this
without vision flashing to set up, like there's just no information that this is a safe play. Like it was a reaction out of Lahen's, a very
I think there was information that it wasn't safe because Gideon was right there. So yeah, I agree with you. A little bit of an unfortunate
King in here just going to equalize to try to defend. The flash though, I can't get behind it. He will pull the wave like you said, but it doesn't really matter since it's just going to get pushed into the turret anyways.
All right, Anchor comes down, level 6s for our supports as Nongshim looking for Dragon number 2, and they are actually getting a decent way through it. Currently, Diablo almost has a 700 gold lead. That is from largely the cull being completed, as well as his quest, which is done. But Roma taking a lot of damage here. Cloud Soul this game as well. And Namgung taking a lot of damage. Man, Lahens is going to be running so fast. 5 extra movement speed on the patch and Cloud Soul. Oh, baby.
Scout's significantly ahead in this game. If you look at his combat power versus Roamer's, it is definitely stronger because he has that first item completed and he does a lot of burst damage, but didn't have enough burst in that last moment. And we need to be looking at how these fights have been lost for Nongshim, right? It's been kind of pulling the trigger too early. They've been opting into every situation. And I think that when you look at how that's going to happen on, for example, this upcoming Herald fight, they need to be a little bit more cautious, right? Because Bro are behind in this game, and yes, a lot of that is the Syndra, but the Ryze is still going to do more consistent large damage output in a longer fight, and they've got the front line for it. Nongshim really need to be careful. Like, Len's down flash still, and is a vulnerable target. At least now he has his ultimate, finally. Both supports do at level 6 here, but this next Herald fight could be make or break for Nongshim.
The thing that I'm really worried about is that casting is so incredibly big. He's got a 500 gold lead against a first strike Rumble. Like, you should, even if you're ahead in farm, you shouldn't be ahead in gold.
Just going to be tough to cut through him because the Sipper is still in its early stages. So I agree with you. This is why Romer is actually so powerful even with no real combat items in his inventory. He's just going to be able to get enough time to bounce enough flux through Nongshim.
Casting, buying that time for his teammates is Kingin, seeing whether he can find a target that is a little bit less durable than the guy he's been laning against all game long.
And in this meta, not really on this Ryze, unfortunately, with the Catalyst and the Crushers tier 3. He's just not really going to hurt Romer that much.
Well, Lahens, he was thinking about a headbutt pulverized and then realized that it was probably not worth his time as Diablo does get the spell shield down. Gideon's in a lot of trouble. Gets the shield, but look at those boomerangs go. Namgung going to be the next target, and down he will go. Teddy standing his ground, but I don't know whether he really wants to. Is on the hunt, has been popped, and Diablo walks into that true shot barrage. Romer is just burning down. And he is just trying to catch this wave that Kingin is delivering. It should be Sponge locking this one up. Another pole flash here from Lahens as Teddy gets himself out of the way. The ulti there from Lahens will be able to keep him alive as Diablo will just take down this turret. Teddy lives, but the structure does not.
Yeah, and it's just a second before Bro get this top turret here for casting, so they miss it by just an inch as Diablo is not afraid of Teddy right now.
Yeah, the ricochet's going straight through. The flash gets out, though. Nicely done there from Namgung.
And finally, Nongshim make a calculated engage where they have the information. They have full information this time to go for this play and set it up. But then Lahens, his flash play there was risky, but it guarantees they get that first turret. So I think worth it absolutely there in the end. Diablo's now able to pick up his second item, Flicker Blade, before we go into this next objective.
Yeah, there is Namgung hitting a hook there onto Lahens, who's taking a lot of damage. Doesn't have the Unbreakable Will. And there's the ulti from Gideon. The interruption from Sponge. He's an absolute hero. Kingin, though, doesn't have Equalizer. Kind of wishes he did, man. That choke point would have been brilliant to light on fire, but not actually going to happen this time. Might have been a large reason why the Bros are actually feeling okay with going for that play. Let's have a look at this one once again.
This is the fight here where Gideon just doesn't have setup, and Namgung is not going to be able to peel enough for him here. They have so much control, right? And Teddy was pinned under turret, so they knew that. Like, Diablo was the one who did it, so he's able to rotate over, has his ultimate as well for a little bit of extra movement speed to secure that. And then they turn it into a turret take right afterwards as Romer is just weathering the storm in this bottom lane. Whether it's a Rumble or a Sindri he's up against, he's just tanking it.
Yeah, Namgung is going to turn up. Sponge just gets out of there. Scout in position, though, as you were saying, was kind of been the bane of Romer's existence so far. Yeah, they're looking for an angle. That's an anchor in. Not sure about that one, as the Aftershock is going to wear off. Scatter onto just the Nocturne, though. And now Teleport does bring casting in. He's running real fast. He's got a huge shield, and he's just looking to run amok. Just not going to land that Q, though. And so just kind of getting kited around.
They defend the turret with this because if he doesn't TP over here, they are going to lose it for sure. But ultimately, they're still going to lose a lot here on top side because Kingin not only doesn't have to TP and now holds teleport advantage, but is going to pick up a lot of gold himself right now. So putting a dent in that lead there that casting currently holds. And this Sivir despite how the early game went, and the Alistair laning phase didn't go so well. Just started to generate a lead, got the cult cashed in, got that early kill. Oh my god!
Yeah, Scout having to flash. Casting is very frightening.
But with no turret to push into either for the Sivir, she's constantly going to give prio here to Nongshim, and they have control over this dragon as a result. And they're looking for Soul Point as an ult from Sponge.
Yeah, they're going to take about a year to get through casting. I think just go back to the dragon. That's an easier target to take down.
That's a little bit less tanky.
Yeah. And they are just going to try and take it. We do have a teleport on Romer available. He's going to use it here. Here's the contest from the bros. True Shot Barrage does come out. Lehens uses his flash in a weird way as the Pulverize does basically nothing. There's the all-out onto casting. Good knock-ups there from Sponge. Scatter is phenomenal, but Diablo's already down. The only power comes in though, and Romer is going to get taken out, and it's Teddy that's the hero of the fight. Scout just not quite in it. The anchor stops Lehens from getting away, and it's a triple for Gideon. Sponge has to try and run for the hills, but he's not going to be able to do so, I do not think, although he does have the flag and drag. And there he will be allowed to live. That's the first dragon going over to the bros, and they win the team fight.
This Rise is not the threat, is not the real problem in this fight. And casting gets into the backline, and they blow up Diablo. So watch Diablo in this one. Again, he's the one who's positioned pretty aggressively. Spell shields the True Shot Barrage. But look at this, gets caught by casting. The Cassante engage, and then gets followed up on by Namgung, and Gideon bursts him down. And they just don't have any way to fight this one out. Scout does end up hitting a big scatter there, but where's the follow-up damage? Teddy is the real damage. He's the only damage dealer left in this fight, and they cannot kill him. Scout's broken up on the right side, so cannot actually collapse the Sponge. Sponge escapes. That's a huge win here for Bro. They get the first dragon of the game and a massive swing of gold.
Yeah, this is huge. And I think I did Lehens dirty there a little bit. It was just a Hex Flash that he decided not to go in on. But then he pulverized a Cassante. And he's the target that you're really not allowed to do that onto, right? He can certainly eat any CC that you want to.
It's just crazy that casting got on top of Diablo, and that was what they needed. And then Namgung's able to follow up on that, and there's just so much burst in that moment. As this Cassante is such a problem. You mentioned it earlier. He is really annoying to deal with this composition. Eventually the Sivir will cut through with no problem, but when the Sivir is the one that's dying instantly to him, then it becomes a different story, as he may be cut down by too many members of Nongshim here.
Well, let's see whether they can do it. He is pretty good at dealing with magic damage, which is what's coming in. There's the Pathmaker now on cooldown as the Cataclysm is going to try and hold him in place. The all-out is down, and that means that he's a bit more susceptible to death.
But on the
and
cross,
Scout's going to give that to him.
It's going to be Romer getting that bottom turret, and Scout's not here to help defend this push either.
Yeah, no teleports at all from anyone. And even this siege is working out for the bros.
I don't know if that's really a big win for Nongshim ultimately or not. The Scout's going to get some damage done to this turret, and they did finally kill the Cassante, but Romer is really starting to get a ton of money. He's still obviously behind Scout right now in this game. Scout's got 4 kills and a massive CS lead, but the fact that Romer gets this money means that he's getting out of irrelevancy in terms of damage very quickly, and now they're even maybe going to get King in.
Yeah, Equalizer goes down. It's a pretty good spot, but Kingen is still very, very dead. True Shot Barrage was there to block off any attempt at escape, and that is not going to work out. Good timing there on that kill as they were rotating down, trying to get towards their Rumble.
I guess they thought that maybe Gideon would try to defend against Scout instead, but...
Oh, that is a flash from Lehens. Gideon does have now some support coming in. The teleport from casting will be able to stop Lehens from finding an angle, and now he's got the Unbreakable Will running. Nice scatter there from Scout.
Here comes Teddy and Namgung too. They need to evacuate.
All right, so Nongshim do make their way out of there, and Sponge is just going to grab his blue buff on his way out. So
Bro, we're just kind of
denying the aggression.
They're running the map despite the deficits. Okay, Namgung though.
Yeah, good scatter does come on down here as Diablo's just trying to layer this damage through. They do not manage to take down the Nautilus.
Oh, that true shot.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. As King in, big old shield after the teleport, but he will just use it in order to take down this minion wave. That turret is on like half a health, I'm pretty sure.
There's so much right now about this game that's been Bro finding the better angles and the more relevant plays, either cross-map or just straight up where Nongshim decide to greed. Like Kingen going down to try to defend that bottom side turret, he just also dies as a result of that, and then they try to make that into a collapse play and can't, and then they have to retreat, and it was very risky and almost turned into an even worse situation there, as now Bro have taken a gold lead in this game. Again, a lot of it's just the Nefiri
Yeah,
But the leads for Scout and Diablo are much smaller than they used to be.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Gideon is 3,000 gold ahead. 7-0-1. That kind of just came out of nowhere. Hadn't really been looking at the score lines, I guess. This Nefiri just massive here in this game right now.
And the next dragon here would be Soul for Nongshim, or just a double stack here for Bro, which is starting to become quite terrifying in its own right.
Oh, yeah.
So they want to contest this. This is a very important one for them. Scout is on 2.5 items. Actually, almost got his third completed here. He's incredibly powerful, way stronger than the Ryze is right now. The Sivir is on 3 items, way stronger than the Ezreal is right now. Like, they cannot give this one up. They absolutely need to be fighting right here, right now. And it looks like Bro are trying to keep it like they're interested, but instead of just pushing the top side with Roamer. He has TP if they like the angle, but otherwise, I think they just need to let Nongshim have Soul Point here.
Yeah, you can see Scout very close to having his teleport back up again, so he is going to answer the Ryze's push as Nongshim trying to set up a gank rush, 4 versus 4. The anchor is going to connect, but it's onto Lehens. He kind of likes those odds. He's casting, getting into the backline. This time he will get knocked up, though. It's Diablo. So much safer. The all-out is not going to work at all as the equalizer stops Gideon from being able to approach. Teddy not going to get scattered because he's not weak. He's dead. It's a double for Scout and Nongshim. They don't like the other dragons anymore. They're going to take a Baron.
It looked like initially Bro had just been like, all right, cool, the dragon's not even up. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to let you guys stall it out there. We're going to get the advantage elsewhere as they're going to try to turn this into a dragon for Baron, which is a great consolation prize, I suppose. Plus Lehens, maybe?
Yeah.
Scout's coming over, but I don't know about this.
Lehens is just trying to keep him interested. That is going to be the Drake secured. Lehens did not need to die.
They don't need Alistair to have Baron buff. It's fine.
In fact, I think they're stronger when it doesn't happen.
Look at the minimap. Look at where the control is on the top side. They don't need to be the aggressors here. And when I was watching where Bro were on the map and how they had this setup, I was like, wow, this actually couldn't be better for them. But considering that Soul Point's on the other side and they can't win a team fight here, they're actually pulling Scout around the map. They've got some angles to where they could maybe go for a late contest, and then they just send it. So I was like, maybe they didn't have a plan, actually. Maybe they weren't really playing the Maestro game. But ultimately, they end up just giving over a massive team fight win to Nongshim for basically free when Nongshim are at their strongest right now, and end up giving over the Baron as a result of it. Sure, they got that second dragon, which is some value, and they got Lehens for some reason.
Yep.
But definitely not the play, Hanji and Brian, on that one.
Yeah, they also, they didn't kill Gideon, which is definitely good. He is very, very powerful here. Wouldn't want to give away that shutdown, although he's not exactly worth a crazy amount of gold right now, given the state of the game. And Nongshim now with 2 minutes to work with this Baron.
Yeah, it's crazy. He doesn't have a bounty, but Sponge does.
I was actually about to say, like, I'm glad he didn't give away the bounty, but, like, he doesn't have one. Namgu now looking for a little bit of a catch here, but it's a great scatter from Scout. Scout is always there to keep these kids alive, and it's working out very, very well. I like how Lehens is probably one of the oldest players on this team.
3-item
He's
Scout.
the one that needs the most protection right now.
3-item Scout, 3-item Diablo. That hasn't changed. And this Baron with Sivir, Siege, and the poke here from the Syndra is just so incredibly powerful that he's just desperately trying to clear this with the help of the Ryze. But this Baron has already gotten a lot of control on the map.
Spell shield down. Casting was thinking about trying to find an angle. The Bros will be able to push up. Only one plate does get removed from the bottom inhibitor turret. And now the backs are going to come in for Nongshim. What kind of items can actually be purchased here off the back of this? Just a pickaxe for the Sivir and a needlessly large rod to augment the rest of the build here for Scout.
Shojin does finish for Teddy, so he's even in items basically for a moment, but that's not going to last very long.
Man, Scout is so large.
He is, and with how they're playing around him and through Sponge and Scout, you know, Diablo's just able to free hit, so it's very terrifying as Hanji Brian.
He's 310 CS at 27 minutes. Yeah, like, what the heck?
He's far
He's been orbing these waves.
And they've been grouped a lot here in mid, but he got a lot of alone time on the top side earlier too.
Yeah, Teddy actually taking some poke damage here. As man, it's a bit of a different story when Diablo is on one of these team fighting 80 carries. These team fights really can be problematic for the Bros. Casting just trying to deal with this minion wave has actually done a great job. And Diablo finds another gorgeous spell shield. And it's now on cooldown though, and he does actually take some meaningful damage here. As a Realm Warp trying to catch out this Sivir. They do get behind him, but the Equalizer goes down. They get no Grom thrown at him. That was crazy. Scout unleashes the power onto Namgung, and it just doesn't work for the bros. Diablo's burning down, and he may actually die, but I don't think it even matters. True Shot Barrage from Teddy kind of does nothing. Lands might die, but that's kind of been what he's wanted all game long, and in fact, he'll be denied. They don't want to give him that extra power. There's the ace, and Nongshim, I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to deliver us our coveted Game 3
I think
in the
so.
prize group.
Nongshim deliver us the same way Romer did, and that he's just going to send his team into an equalizer and a freebie for Nongshim. As I get the idea here, try to get onto Diablo.
Yeah, let's get the Sivir as he's making his way out. Gromped!
Watch Diablo. Does he care? Nope, still not that worried, not that care. Romer's like, I got this. No, you don't do damage, actually. Diablo's like, yep, thank you. All right.
Yeah, and Gideon just keeps getting scattered whenever he tries to ult as well. It's either he gets flag and dragged or scattered. Like, the ultimate has just been useless from this Nefiri that had such a great start in this game.
Yeah, I mean, just the Fury isn't going to scale that well when the rest of the team is made of paper, and not the sharp kind that could even give you a paper cut. As Romer, that flash play in the last team fight was just, I mean, it looked pathetic, right? He's like, I got him! Almost like, I don't think so. And I think at this point, bro, no. And they've known for a while. There's really no coming back in this one. Actualizer's done now for Romer. Oops, didn't have it in the last one. And I think they wanted to make a Hail Mary play where maybe if Nongshim mess it up, they could get back into the game. But now I just don't see it as Soul Point again here for Nongshim on this Dragon.
All right, lands. I'm going to get anchored here, but he's got the Unbreakable Will. He's just trying to keep them interested. And now looking for some cooldowns. Teddy gets dove on, and the Pulverize comes down. The bottom lane gets locked up. It's a double for Diablo, make it a triple. Casting going to be the next to go down. It's Scout that collects that one. Casting goes all out because he wants all out of this game. And I think he'll get the wish. The scatter comes in. It doesn't matter. That's going to be the ace to come through. It's clean. And Nongshim are just going to knock down this stuff and destroy the Nexus.
Yeah, they're not really that interested in this Dragon anymore. Casting's got a big smirk on his face. He had some big moments in this game, but wasn't able to team fight once Diablo hit 3 items. And there just was, again, no sound there, no control, and bro just looked for another desperate play. But I think they were ready for game number 3, the decider, and another banger game here of our Rise group.
And I have to say, we were saying Sponge, make sure that you're playing well on the job, and this time around, 100% kill participation in this game, undying. Scout, exactly the same.
2 back-to-back great games. You know, despite the loss in game 1, he had an incredible Anivia performance, and then in this game, just took over on Syndra. And it wasn't even necessarily about Jarvan's Syndra. He was just getting so much done on his own. Farmed hard, became an unstoppable force, and then eventually Diablo caught up with him.
나 물면 그냥 천천히 봐봐.
앞에 좀 보자.
라이트 없어, 라이트 없어. 쪼이 잡힌다. 이제. 야, 나 이거 싸울게.
이제 봐줄래? 서봐.
나 크게 돌아가는 중.
야,
탑 봐도, 야, 이제. 야, 아무것도 없어. 나 봐줘. 바텀도 좋다, 지금 상황.
나 맞을 사람. 어우야.
나 EQ 2초.
바텀.
끝났어.
1초. 한 듯.